quick, I wanted to talk about who I'm voting for this election and why. In November this year, 2024, I'm going to vote for Donald J. Trump for President of the United States of America. And to give you an explanation of why this is, I want to give you a little bit of my background with President Trump and my background in politics. Probably the first time I really got interested in politics was, I think I would have been in maybe even 5th grade, 6th grade, something like that, in middle school. I remember seeing Trump's presidential announcement in 2016. His famous, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists. And I did not like his style, his affect at all. I didn't really connect with what he was saying because I wasn't familiar with the issues, but just at first glance, I did not like the guy. Throughout that election season, I was never a fan of Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, after the primaries, I actually was supporting Hillary Clinton. I was getting into a lot of comedy content on YouTube, and obviously that's 90% Democrat. And as a result of that, I was supporting Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election all the way up to election day. I didn't stay up for the entire election coverage, but I remember seeing Trump ahead in the Electoral College and being very disappointed at that. How could Trump win? I was assured that Hillary Clinton was going to defeat Trump. And so that whole deal was very disappointing for me. Then later, in 2017, while Trump was president, I kept engaging with political content quite a bit. And at that time, I was watching a lot of the Young Turks. And something about them that I couldn't quite put my finger on was a little off-putting to me. And I wasn't quite sure what it was. Then I heard a debate between Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks and Ben Shapiro at Politicon, and I think this was 2017. And Shapiro really resonated with me. He kind of expressed in words a lot of the concerns that I had about the kind of coverage that I heard on the Young Turks and from a lot of these liberal outlets. And so from that time on, I kind of started listening to both sides, hearing what they each had to say, and then having judged that, I moved to the right and I came into the Trump camp. A lot of it was spurred by me looking at the data, because I had the stocks app on my iPhone, and I could see how the stock market was doing under Trump. And so all these doomsayers on the left talking about how terrible the economy was going to be under Trump, I realized that was just all talk. And I had to look at the data. And when I looked at the data, I found that the economy was doing quite well. And so this kind of helped me to break through all of that propaganda. Now moving on, I was supporting Trump up until the 2020 election, and in that election I was once again disappointed. My preferred candidate did not win. And after that, and sort of in the wake of all of the kind of election controversy shenanigans that Trump was getting into, I kind of stepped back from politics, stepped back from the whole Trump world for quite a while. And then after, hearing all the news about what was going on with Biden after the Afghanistan withdrawal and all of these things, I realized that it wasn't just about my preferred candidate, it was about the direction of the country and what was going to happen there. And so, because of this, I actually was supporting Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida throughout the Republican primary in 2023. I thought that he put forward a better vision of the country than President Trump. I thought that he was more qualified, more accomplished on a legislative level in Florida. And so I supported him. But ultimately, he did not succeed in securing the Republican nomination. After the Iowa caucuses, it became clear that Donald Trump would be the nominee. And after that, I had to kind of have a conversation with myself about whether or not I was going to vote for Trump. Now, the reason that I was questioning this is because, A, he has a lot of questionable character attributes. Obviously, with his family, him cheating on all three of his wives throughout his life, and just kind of his affect, like I mentioned before. Additionally, I have disagreements with President Trump on things like trade policy and abortion, and a few different issues. But ultimately, I decided that at that time, Joe Biden was such a worse alternative on the economy, on social issues, on judicial appointments, that I really had a duty to vote for President Trump. And my last struggles with this came from the fact that I am from Idaho. At that time, I was living in Utah. But either way, both are very Republican states. Both are going to go for Trump this election, regardless of what happens. And so part of me said, I'm not really excited to vote for Trump. I'm just not going to do it. It'll be fine. But then I thought to myself, if I was in a swing state like Michigan or Arizona or something, would I vote for Trump in that case? And I realized that because of the alternative, I would have voted for Trump if I lived in a swing state. And so my belief is that the principal thing to do is to vote for him. If I would vote for him in one of the swing states, I should vote for him in a red state. And so that is why I am voting for President Trump this election.